describe to you how unfun this level is. It's actually impressive. Oof. Good, okay, jeez. Get this out of my life, please. Thank you. Ooh. Wow. That's a cool end screen for this level. I think a few of these are old, but 1,089 total attempts. I don't know how many of them are old. I feel like I played this a little bit forever ago, but I genuinely don't know. Cool, the Antimatter by BIANOX. This is a level I remembered today. I was reminded of today, and I was like, this level's just so... what? That I want to play. Like, I have to beat this one. I have to beat this one. This, I believe, is Extreme Demon 125 as well. Let's verify that claim well. Oh, hold on, refresh. Yeah, 125 extremes. That's nice. Okay. It's just about as janky and poorly built as you'd expect something that is 6 years old to be. Whatever this bug fix is, they didn't catch all of them, but they did a decent job. It's very choke point carried, like a lot of old extremes are. The worst choke point, the worst choke point in my opinion is the backside of the one slope you have to get as the robot is at like, I want to say it's like somewhere like in the late 50s, like 57, 58, 59. I don't know for sure where it is, but that was pretty nasty. You have to land on the back side of that one slope after the blue orb in the one robot. It's right before I skipped the green orb, which I watched a video to make sure I was doing a different part correctly. Saw that green orb here and I was like, "Ooh, thank you! I'm gonna steal that," because trying to hit the green orb into that gap is not a fun setup. I found the pink orb way more not perfect, but way more consistent. That one's pretty bad. There are a few other ones like the surprise mini wave jump scare at like 27-ish, and if you go down too early out of that, you can die to like becoming big on that one little like weird slope sticking up there too, which is super fun. Love that a lot. There were a few more. What were the other choke points? I'm trying to think. There were a few bad ones. Oh, the duel at like 53 or whatever, that like yellow orb click is disgusting. It's just a really precise timing with not a great visual, and it looks like you used to be able to like click that and then buffer the next jump, but now you can't. You have to time it, which is strange. And like I say, a lot of the levels just really kind of awkward and setup based and not my favorite. The duels just collectively in this level are pretty god awful. They're pretty much as bad as they come. They're not non-functional. Like, they work. You just have to really put in a lot of effort to get them to work, right? They're very like finicky and nuanced in a way that is not satisfying to understand. You know how like sometimes you like get a quirky level and there's a nuanced part and you learn it and you're like, oh, that's really cool, and then it's like satisfying to pull off and it's consistent and you do something and you get the same results out. These duels are nuanced and you can get some tips and tricks to make them more consistent, but they're not fun to learn, and they're not consistent. At least I didn't think they were consistent. The transition into the ship at 79 is particularly bad. So coming out of that duel into that ship, there's an invisible slope here. I can just show you this slope. It's like the worst object placement in a level, maybe. Um, I wouldn't say worst, maybe like least convenient. Whereas here it is, here it is, here it is. Right here, if I, oh, you can even see it. If I just, that slope right there, if you come into this portal, because your top guy here that goes like swinging, like boom, you can see my cursor, right? Boom, and then this way, and then boom. If you hit this like low, you'll fall in here, get bounced up off of this slope, and then you're like here. This went over object limit. You're like here-ish, right? But if you go in straight, you can just straight fly right into the orb, right? So it's really inconsistent whether or not you have to do a click here. The way that I found to make it somewhat more consistent was just to jump earlier here, hit this earlier, and then somehow, for some reason, that sets it up better. I believe it's because... Oh, that actually makes a ton of sense. Yeah, no, that actually makes sense. So if you do this, you hit this... Oops. You hit this portal sooner, which turns the cube on the bottom that's doing this coming through here, it turns it upside down sooner, which means that you hit this sooner. Oh, hey, that's good. I appreciate that. It means you hit this sooner, right? Which means that you're potentially falling sooner, right, when you hit this, which means you're a little higher, which means you come into the top of this orb. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, just jumping a little earlier off of like this platform here set this up better for me. I don't know if it's going to work consistently for everyone. It's kind of janky. This orb's pretty terrible, but it's manageable. This one also was just kind of... there was a way to set this up so you could buffer it. I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. I instead just took it as like barely late timing. I believe, at least. I might have buffered it into completion. I don't know. I was sort of playing a lot of this by ear. But yeah, this transition with this slope is not my favorite. But there are ways to make it consistent-ish. And then the rest of the level's pretty much free, all things considered. It's really not that bad. It's, again, nothing here is free, but it's fine. I do want to check. Is there an inverted slope of some kind here? Oh, yeah, it's this guy. It's this guy. That inverted slope, this thing, no, it's not even an inverted slope. It's just Rob having a weird hitbox and people not understanding it. This block right here, I actually kind of love. Maybe a controversial take, I don't know. I think the level would be better if it wasn't there, for sure, than if it was. But it prevents a death where you like fall, you know, like you're falling like here-ish and you like clip the spikes or something. I don't even know if that's possible actually at 2-speed. I don't know. It was nice for me though, because if I came into this late and missed it, I could just kind of click here-ish, right? And if I came in early, I'd hit that, and then a click here-ish still works very well, right? I don't think it's particularly good that that block's there, right? I don't think that is a beneficial thing for the level overall, but it was definitely a beneficial thing for me specifically because I could just kind of click right under this guy and we were good to go. And then the rest of the level is just the rest of the level. I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss any crazy terrible timings. This one right here is the bad one, yeah, because you have to catch this slope, because if you're here you either jump and you can't jump from there, and then if you try to wait and jump off the slope, you fall into these quarter spikes right there. What else was there? What else was there? I think the rest of the level's pretty much run-of-the-mill stuff. Yeah, that click was bad. Yeah, this ship is just like genuinely difficult ship control. Excuse me. This ship, like I said, this ship is just genuinely difficult ship control. It does the thing that a lot of old levels do, where they have like the see-through versions of the spikes behind the real spikes, and it adds difficulty without looking like it should add difficulty, which is not my favorite. But if you know that, you can just work around it, and it's just a difficult ship. Oh, this gap was kind of annoying because it moves into place. It's not bad. I was never dying to it in practice, and I died to it from zero a bunch. This straight fly is not my favorite. So this is rough because spam put to, is this a person? Is this who made this part? I'm confused. But this part, you just like land here, hold, and then you have to like let go over this guy. If you go in too high, it makes the setup awkward. So you have to kind of let go like around here-ish, right? Into this guy. But it's going to be slightly different every time. There's no way to get like a good consistent setup in here. So then you do 3 slightly different UFO clicks, but they're easy enough. You can just kind of like watch it. You know what I mean? Like no biggie. But you do 3 slightly different UFO clicks, right? Yeah, I think it's 3 clicks. I genuinely don't know. I think it's 3. Boom, boom, boom. It should be. And then you have to catch yourself coming through here, and this thing moves in with the back in out easing, which means it moves in tighter than a space for like a brief second. It moves in tighter than a 1 space gap, which is really, really awesome and cool. So you're like already you have an inconsistent setup, and then all of a sudden, shoot, like it closes in on you super tight for a brief moment. It's just not a great transition in there. Not my favorite. What does this say? Oh, it's a color trigger. I thought someone hid some text. It's just a color trigger. That's funny. Yeah, this way was rough. Rest of the levels, kind of whatever. Oh, God. Dude, I'm so fucking tired. Yeah, rest of the levels, kind of whatever. But there you go. The Antimatter. Goofy. Goofy. Wouldn't recommend it, but, you know, it's one of those levels that if you're in the mood for a funny level, this one's pretty funny. Alright. I'm going to cut the recording here now. Bye.